Hey there everybody, my name's Nathan Elson, and today's video is going to be a short one because we're only dealing with one light. But that light just happens to be something that everyone has access to, which is the sun. Now, even though this setup is pretty straightforward, there are a couple of things that you need to consider when shooting in this type of lighting setup. So with that being said, let's just get into it. Here we are at the studio, and I have the large south-facing bay door open with my background and model sitting just inside of the studio. Now, the reason for placing them inside the studio was simply to avoid any wind from blowing against the background and to keep the whole backdrop setup just a little more stable. Now, with that being said, I also have sandbags on the legs of my C-stands to secure everything down so that there's no additional risk of my background setup falling over. The background is essentially a 9-foot wide wind catcher, so don't take the risk and make sure that you secure your background if you're going to try shooting with this type of setup. Now, as I said, the model and background are south facing, and that means that the lighting will always be indirect and soft, which makes for truly beautiful light to work with. Honestly, it's almost like a cheat code. And because I'm shooting on a black backdrop, there's already some flagging of the light happening, which is adding in some natural contrast. Now, there will be people in the comments who will say things like they don't have a large studio bay door, but the thing is, you don't need one. If you wanted to do this setup in a south-facing garage, you totally could. Or even if you just set this up against a south-facing wall of a building, that would work perfectly. All you need is space that allows for as much indirect light as possible, and the rest is up to you and how you frame everything in your camera. Now for gear, I was shooting with the Nikon Z6 II with the Viltrox 50mm f2 Air lens. And as always, I am tethered into Capture One Pro. So when you put all of this together, this is what it ends up looking like. And so there you have it, a super simple way to use natural light to create stunning black and white portraits. Now, if you guys have not subscribed already, make sure you do, because I'm going to show you in the next video how I create portraits that look like this. But with that being said, just thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.